Hey, what's going on, everybody? Noah from Cheeky Barbecue here. I am super excited because my friends from Masterbuilt sent me the Gravity Series 560 to put it through its paces, tell you guys what I think about it. Now, if you followed me for a long time, you know that I cook on Kamados, I cook on pellet grills. I think that there's a place on your patio for both. And what's really cool is that this grill is almost like a hybrid between the two. So its fuel source is charcoal. You can use briquettes or lump. I'm gonna use lump today. You can also throw some nice wood chunks in. I found that the, kind of baseball sized wood chunks work a little bit better. I think to really put it through its paces, as far as how low and slow cooking's gonna go, we're gonna do a pork shoulder today. It's one of my favorite things to cook. You get a bunch of yield from a nice pork shoulder. They're relatively inexpensive. That's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you the low and slow capabilities of this grill. But the thing that's really nice and what's gonna separate this from a lot of the other grills that's on the market is the versatility of its range. So this digital controller can run from 150 degrees to 700 degrees. One thing that's really nice is that they tell you that it can get to 225 degrees in 7 minutes and up to 700 degrees in 13 minutes. That's one of the things that people talk about when they're looking at pellet grills, is that it's hard to get a good sear. That's because it's an indirect style of cooking. This cooker is really set up so that you can go low and slow, cook indirect, but you can also crank this baby up and cook direct. I'm gonna show you the startup process in here, and then we'll get that pork shoulder on. One of the things that I like most about this grill is the fact that you can use lump or normal briquette charcoal. What I have found to be the most effective is if you layer in those baseball-sized chunks of wood with your charcoal inside the chamber, especially during long cooks like this pork shoulder. After you put all your charcoal in, you put a simple fire starter down in that slot in the bottom and get it lit. I'm gonna let this burn for at least 5 to 10 minutes. You can see it smoking here. Leave both of those vents open. That's gonna get your charcoal lit. Then you can go back and turn the controller on, which is gonna kick on that fan to stoke your fire. All right, so we've got our fire going for about probably 6, 7, 8 minutes or so. Now we're gonna close all that down. Then we're gonna come to our controller and actually turn the grill on. One of the things you'll notice is that if the top vent or bottom vent are left open, the grill will actually tell you that it's open and it won't turn the fan on. So you need to make sure that you have both the top and the bottom vent in the chamber closed before the fan will kick on. All right, grill is preheated to 275. I took this pork shoulder, I seasoned it last night. Now it's time to put it in here. I'm gonna put it in the grill, 275, not even gonna look at it for at least 3 hours. How perfect that looks. All right, so we are 3 hours into this cook. We're gonna take a look at it for the first time. Come on in, let's take a look. The bark is looking pretty good so far. You can see there's a couple spots where it's starting to dry out a little bit, so I just have some apple cider vinegar in a spray bottle. We're just gonna spritz this down. Pork shoulder's been going for about 6 or 7 hours now. This first part of it, I don't like to worry about time. I really just look at time or temperature. I just look at how the bark's developing. So let's come in, let's take a look, see how we're doing. bark looks really happy. As you can tell, looks delicious already. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off the grill. I'm going to wrap it in foil, otherwise known as the Texas crutch. Give it another spray of apple cider vinegar. Wrap that up like a little baby, swaddle my little pork shoulder, pork butt baby, and throw it back on the grill. Come on in. All right, so pork shoulder has hit 205 degrees internal. That tells me that it's done. It's gonna be good to go. Plan is we're gonna take it out of the smoker. I'm gonna put it in this Cambro Go box. This is a nice thick insulated box. It can keep it hot or cold up to 4 hours, but really all we're gonna do is put it in there, let it rest for about an hour. That's as long as it needs. Can let it rest for up to 3 or 4 hours if you need to. An hour is going to be plenty for us. The nice thing about this Cambro Go box is that it perfectly fits a half sheet pan. So after I wrapped it in the foil, what I did is I threw it in one of these pans. That's just going to help contain any sort of juices or anything like that in case it leaks. Got the pork shoulder here, and we're just going in. One thing I forgot to mention is that what's really important before you put the pork shoulder into whatever the thing is that you're going to rest it in, a cooler, an oven, or anything like that, is that you open up that foil, let all the steam vent off for at least 10 to 20 minutes, then wrap it back up, put it inside your container. So the pork has been resting for about an hour inside the Cambro here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to pull it out, shred it all up, get it ready to eat. One really good indicator to know if your pork shoulder's done is just how easily that bone comes out of the pork shoulder. You can tell that that slid out super easy. There's no meat or anything attached to it. That's what we call a clean bone pull. The other thing I want to point out is that you can tell underneath my black nitrile gloves, I have cotton gloves. That's what's making that heat resistant for me, where I can just use my hands to shred up this pork. Please do not just use regular nitrile gloves. You will burn yourself. This pork shoulder is still very hot. You can also try those bear claws or a couple forks or whatever you have laying around. Just wanted to make sure you knew it wasn't just my gloves. That's a wrap on our pork shoulder. Did about 10 hours total in the smoker. Really, really good. Time to give it the taste test. Wow, that's really good. Really, really nice flavor of smoke on that. I used post oak wood chunks. The bark is incredible. The moisture content in this is incredible. This was a home run. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it.